Alright, let's take a look at measuring a complete house. This is a typical 1.5 story design. The downstairs is pretty simple. We've got a front porch and we've got a rear covered deck. But you know, there's nothing really complicated about it. It's just a basic design. And the 1.5 story, you know, the upstairs is a little more interesting with the design there. But you know, it's not too complicated, and the key is finding a place to start on every house. Be consistent and your measurements will be more accurate. Okay, on this front wall, we really don't have anything to shoot across with the disto, so we're just going to do the old school method here. It comes straight across the front. Just follow me over here to this end. Okay, and we got 28.2 on this side. In this case, we've got a straight wall and we've actually got a spot to shoot it off of. So I can do the distance right here, straight across, which gives me 14 feet, or we can do it the old school way. It gives me 14 feet, the exact same measurement. Here again, you got a little butt out, so I can do the disto, or in this case, it's pretty easy to just pull this out, and it's 2 feet, which they are a lot of times in our area. Okay, same thing here. Just follow me down. Okay, and we're 22.2. All right, come up close here for me a minute and stand kind of right over here. I want you to aim in right on close on that tape measure. Now I want you to see this wall right here. The tape pull actually stops at 22.2. This is an end piece. Don't forget that these little caps, the wall actually ends at 22.2, not 22.3. Okay, back up to me. All right, come over this way and actually walk around behind me and get back over here. Now in this case, we've got the same 2 feet in. We're not. Over there. Okay, so we're just coming back this way, and we've got a 5 feet measurement there, and of course we had the same 2 foot measurement right there. All right, I'm going to measure the deck, which we've got an easy shot here, so I can do it with the disto. I get 16 feet, or these old bones up here. That's going to have to be cut out. And it works out to exactly 16 feet. So the disto is pretty accurate on there. Going to do the same thing with this other wall. And remember, it's the same thing with the cap on the corner. I deduct for that. All right, so I got 9 feet down. Okay. Walk right on around. Okay, now here I've got another straight shot, so it's a real easy measurement here. All right, see if you can get the red dot down there, if you can see that. Straight there, so you see that red dot, then we got another pull coming out, which is that same 2 feet measurement. And you're just repeating the same steps over and over. In this case, it's 11.7. It goes back down in the 2 feet here. And in this case now we've got a hot water heater in the way, so when we put a tape measure on the end, we're going to try to avoid running into that. So in this case, I'm just going to go up above it. so I end up with 14.5, and I don't have to worry about adjusting for this. Okay, now we're going to do the rod measurement. Just walk with me right through. Okay, so we're going to start the same basic measurement. And remember, we're measuring to the same cap here. So we've got 31.5. So we're actually going to call that 30.2. Now we've got a straight shot going inside here. With the rods, we're going to do the same basic thing. And if you can see, we've got a power line down there that we want to avoid. So we're just going to go up a little higher to avoid that. You can see now we don't have to worry about missing that. All the way up against the inside, it's 27 feet. You always want to make sure, try to get closer on this if you can. Come up to right here. Whenever you have a wall like this, you don't want to come to the high point. You want to come up as close to the house as you can. All right, now this last measurement, just stay right where you are. All right, back to the front porch. Back here, and of course we can do this one with the disto as well, to that lowest mark. Let's talk about measuring upper levels a little bit. We measure the lower level of this house, and I mean, it's pretty basic, and you can get the exterior dimensions, you know, from the front for the upstairs. So you always want to walk the exterior of the house before you do any interior measurements upstairs. It really helps you to get an idea of dormers or areas that jut out. It's always just a good idea to see what is all around the exterior of the house before you go upstairs. Now when I go upstairs on this particular house, you always try to do an exterior layout. You know, before you ever pull a tape measure, kind of walk around the whole upstairs and figure out which way the measurements are going to go. Now here, obviously, you know, these are pretty simple measurements. This is the staircase I'm working on right now. And of course, if you've got a disto or some kind of a laser measuring device, it makes things a lot easier. But what I've done in this case, actually before I started these measurements, when I came upstairs and walked the exterior, I have already drawn out an exterior design. So I pretty much know which measurements that I'm going to need to take. Now for instance, when we get over here in this corner, you can see that the wall comes out and then the interior wall comes back to you. But that is not the exterior dimension. This wall comes up to the bathroom and then it actually goes back out. And a lot of people, you know, if you want to draw out the interior walls and do a floor plan, you know, that's a business choice you have to make. For me, I'm doing the square footage, you know, and unless they're hiring me specifically to do the floor plan, I'm just going to do a basic design, mark the exterior rooms, count the square footage, you know, and just label where the rooms are located. But in this case, I took the door frame and measured all the way to the end of this bathroom. I had also taken from the exterior wall to the left of that and measured to that wall, so I can find the difference between that interior wall and this full wall that goes to the back of the bathroom. Now in this case, the bathroom wall is the same as this bedroom wall, and of course since I've already walked around it, I kind of already know what I have to work with. But you should always just verify those measurements just to be sure, because sometimes there can be a 1 foot, you know, or even a 0.6, some kind of a sneaky dimension, and if you've walked outside it makes it easier. But in this case, you know, I measured the width of the bathroom, I'm measuring the width of this bedroom, and of course anytime you can do full pulls across the whole area, it makes things much easier. Now in this bedroom, there's mirror bedrooms in this design. At the back of the house, there's a bedroom, a closet, there's an adjoining closet, and then another bedroom. And actually we'll show you in a minute that you can, in this particular design, you can do a full measurement all the way across. And this measurement should come out, now let's see, I'm measuring here and I'm measuring all the way across the interior of the house. Now what we're supposed to find when we do this is that this measurement should be about 1 foot less than the exterior measurement from the lower level. You know, it really should be the same thing. It's a full measurement, but we took the exterior measurement on the lower level, and of course I'm walking so you can see that you can't take a measurement with the red dot doing all that, but you can see we took that full measurement, and with adding the 5/10 of a foot for each exterior wall, it should match that measurement that was across the front porch of the front of the house. And you can see as I'm walking, you're going to see this is the mirror bedroom, same thing, the closet backs up to the other closet. You know, the back wall of this house is straight. It's a pretty simple design on there. So as long as you do your walk before you start pulling your tape measure or your laser or whatever, you know, it makes things much easier. Now here I'm measuring the dimensions of this bedroom. Sometimes agents, depends on the purpose of your appraisal of course, but in this case they want to know room sizes, so I'm actually gathering the room sizes while I'm here. But on the back side of this wall is the staircase. And you know, the staircase, I harp on staircases, I know, but it's one area that a lot of appraisers simply take out of the sketch, and you should not do that. This square footage is part of the finished living area on both floors. Now see, this area goes all across the staircase. That is finished square footage on this upper level, just as if we had raised this square footage and made the floor level with the top of the living area here. So it's just like it's flat walking area. You want to count those dimensions. And of course you can see it's straight across that back wall and then behind the tape measure, and then that wall comes up and then goes over towards the front. You know, when you see the floor plan, you'll see, and of course this is the first floor plan, so you can kind of see where we got the exterior dimensions from on the front of that house. That should be the same as the upper level, but when you get to the upper level, you can see, you know, it's a flat level area across the back. Both sides come up. You know, this is really not that complicated of a design, but when you go upstairs, you should be able to draw this out and then pull your measurements from that point. And it makes it so much easier by already having, you know, the perimeter. And you know that upper level has got to be the same width as this measurement across the front. Now this is the sketch I actually did from them, and you can see it's the purpose of this is to calculate the total square footage or gross living area. The upstairs, the downstairs, the garage, these are some things that would be wrong in tax records, but in this case we got 2219 square feet.